Alright folks, welcome back to Irish and Scottish fishing and fly tying. So today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit. It's quite a famous Irish pattern. So this is the Apache shrimp. So I know the original pattern doesn't have jungle cock eyes on it, but I like it with jungle cock. So it's a very prolific pattern back in Ireland, and Mr. Aitken's invented it, and it's probably one of my favourite Irish shrimp patterns. So it's quite a simple fly, and it's a relatively easy tied, and I just like it. So I'll quickly show you how I tie it up. So for this I'm tying it in a size 10, and it's going to be in a size 10 B280. A KAMASAN low water hook. Quite a good hook for this pattern. Like as I say, you can tie this pattern up down to a 12, down to a 14 if you want in a double. Tie it in a treble, tie it in a tube, whatever your fancy is, whatever you want. But that's there we go. Right, so let's just get things started. The thread we're going to be using is UNI-THREAD 80 in black. So like everything, just start off with a quick layer of thread. Just put it down the hook. Not all the way down the hook, just down the hook a little bit. So you catch it in, come in and snip it off. Straighten that up. I'm just going to tighten the vise. Then I'm going to come in with my tag. Now you can tag with your what do you call it, your uni French oval, but I like tagging with wire, so I'm going to come in with a small fine wire. Just catch this in at the top of the hook and just run my thread down the hook. Go past the hook barbs down about that position. Bring the thread up a little bit, and then start counter rotating it for your tag. Right, like the majority of my flies, I generally put a 4-turn tag or a 5-turn tag. Just working my way up. So there's 2 in now. All this is it just protects the fly a bit. Yeah, and there's 4.5, and then catch that and bring it back up the middle of the hook. Give it a pull, and then before you start to lock that off, I just come in with a pair of tweezers or whatever just to seat that into the bottom of the hook. Couple of loose turns over, and then hold it, and then a couple of tight turns. And then all you want to do then is just helicopter it off then. Just maintaining tension on your bobbin. There we go. And run your thread back down to the start of the tag. Just to that position. Now, the original pattern doesn't have flash, but you can put a bit of flash in it, so I do like putting a bit of pearl flash in mine, crystal mirror flash and pearl. And I'll just tie in one strand, and for this I generally like tying it in quite long, just for when I tie it, because I like catching it on my spring and my vise. Because when you wind on your golden pheasant breast, it can catch. So all I'm doing is just catching that into the top of the hook and just running my thread down to the hook. There we go. I'm just trying to position that out of the way. I haven't even done it long enough. There we go. That's it done. Then I'm going to come in with my golden pheasant breast feather. Now, if you're going to be tying any flies, and if you want to get into it, I would recommend buying a full golden pheasant body. So, as I say, you get a vast array of materials on it, and predominantly for the Irish shrimp patterns, you're going to be using the breast feathers. So I'll just pluck a couple off there, and then I'll just bear it back and use it. So this will be using this for that size of material. I'll probably be using that on a size 6, but you just bear that back. And I also got the tail, golden pheasant tail with it, and I got the head as well. So it's a good value, especially if you're going to be tying a lot of flies. So I've already come in and I've already prepped one of my fellers already, so all I'm going to do now is just come in and catch it in. So I'll tie it in with the tip at the bottom of the hook. Just rotate it up. A couple of turns over. All you want to do then is just pull it back. There we go. Just shape that like that. Then you want to start to shape, start to bend it. So it's gone in the position that you want to tie it in. And if you notice them, this is the front. This is the shiny portions, whereas you don't want to be pushing this, so you want this to be pushed back when you bend the hackle. And all you want to do then is just start to rotate it around the hook. Now, because you're rotating this around the hook, it might be a bit messy, but after you've started putting it on, and once you've finished it, I will be taking this off the vise and I will be blowing it and shaping it. But it looks messy at the start, but as you work your way around it, you can see it's like building up there nicely. I think it's a great material. Great material for doing Irish shrimp patterns. Like I said, whoever came up with this idea is like genius. It's such a long and mobile material. There you go, there's 3 turns. That's all the materials used that I've used there. So all I'm going to do now is come back up, put a turn over, put 2 turns over it, and then I'll pull everything back. And just put a couple of courtesy turns in there, and I'll lock it off. And then come in with my scissors and snip that off. Now you can take this off the vise, but this one's worked out quite well for me. I didn't have to take it off. So then all I'll do now is I'll come in and snip my flash. And then just for handiness sake, what I'll do is I'll moisten my fingers. Just to pull all them fibres back out of the way. Put a couple of turns in just behind it. What it does is it helps shape it into a more of a cone position. Again, make sure you will get the odd loose fibre, so when you first start tying with this, so don't worry about it. Like as I say, you're wanting a very mobile tail when you're tying with this stuff. So I'll let moisten my fingers again, and that will just hold everything out of the way for when I come to finish. So then for my rib on this, I'm going to tie in my rib now before I bring up my floss. So my rib's just going to be Uni-French small oval. I'm just going to catch this in. I'm just going to put it down to where I want it to start. Then I'm going to come in with my number 10 GLO-BRITE floss. Now you can put white over this first, but I like going up and down it twice. Like, so you can use white floss if you want, and then put yellow over it. But with the amount of yellow floss that I'm using, if you go up and down it twice, it gives you a good rich colour. Like you can see it as when you start to lay it on the hook, you can see that it does struggle to go through the black. So I'll just start to rotate this onto the hook now, making sure I've started to cover everything. Maintaining tension as you're rotating this round. As you can see, like it's quite a dark yellow at the minute, but as I say, I go up and down this twice just to build the colour up. And if you do want a richer colour, put white floss over it first and then put the yellow on it. But I like it a bit darker. Just seems to, it helps me build the body up a bit better as well when I do it this way. But as I say, it's your fly, you can do what you want. Right, there we go. 2 turns over the top. 2 2 turns back, and then just put another turn over there just to hold it out of the way, because when you snip the floss, it leaves a little bit of fluff. There we go. Then you're going to come up with your rib, and because you're tying this way, you're bringing your rib up the opposite direction. Now, try and get, like I try and get 3 turns in this little, I know it's only a little bit of section. I like to get 3 turns in, just so you can actually see it after your hackle, because you're going to be putting your center hackle on here. If you've got 3 turns in it, I think it just makes the fly look better. You know, I know you can tie it with 2 turns or whatever, but just for me, it just makes it set a bit better. Couple of turns in there. Come in and snip that, and then keep this, because you're going to be using this after you put your hackle on. That's it, snipped. And then going to come in with just a generic cock hackle in yellow. Now, depending on the size of how you want your wing, like how you want your hackle, you know, you can. So in the pattern that I had on earlier, I tied it with a longer hackle, but this one I've gone for, if you look, I've gone for shorter material this time. So it'll be a nice little small hackle, probably. It'll be nice for low water stuff. So all I'll do is I'll just catch that in. And run the thread back up to where I want to start the hackle. There we go. And then I will come in and snip the excess. I'll then come in with my hackle pliers. Now you can wind this on if you want, but the hackle pliers sometimes gives you a bit more tension. And then, same as before, find out where the shiny side is. Let the hackle bend a bit so you can start to fold it in the direction that you want it to be tied in. And then for this, depending on, it's all preference as well, depending on how good your hackle is, I like to put 3 turns in for this one. So there's 1, then every turn pull back. 2, 3, and come up with your 2 turns over. Pull back, pull all the materials back, put a couple of turns in at the front, and then before we're finished, we're going to tidy all that up. Come in and snip your excess. Then moisten your fingers, and then pull. And pull all the materials back. What you want to do is put a little turn. This helps seat it in. Helps seat the material in. There's a little rogue material there, so I'm just going to come in, pluck it out of the way. You don't have to, you know, you can, it is going to tidy itself up, but I just like as I'm tying flies, I just like tidying as I go. Saves you having to mess about with them later on. So give that a little pinch just to shape it. It's looking well. Then I'm going to come in with me small oval French again. Catch that in, pulling everything back. And then you want to come in then with GLO-BRITE fluorescent number 3, which is your red. And catch it in, double it over, and same again. I'll catch this in, and I'll try and get 3 turns out of it. Well, I'll go up and down the hook a couple of times. All I'm doing is catching that in, and then I'll build a little bit of a body up. Being wary not to go too far, because you've still got you've still got a hackle to put onto this. Then all I'll do is I'll just start running this up the hook. Again, if you want, you know, you can put white over this so you don't have to go up and down it so many times, but it just gives you a richer colour, I find, if you go up and down it twice and with a black underneath it. For me anyway, as I say, it's your own fly. You can, if you want to tie it, you can tie it your own way. I'm just showing you how I tie them up. There we go, working my way along the body. Maintaining tension as always. Get into that position, 2 turns over, then pull back, then turn there, and because it's floss, come back in front of it. Just holds it out, just holds it back, holds it up out of the way, because when you snip it, you will have a little bit of fluff. Then come up with your rib. Again, because I'm tying this way, I'm bringing my rib up the opposite direction, and same as before, I'm going to try it and get 3 turns in. And then that's where I'll tie my hackle in, because you want to see the 3 turns. There we go, a couple of turns. Come in and snip that. Pull everything back. It's just a quick tidy up, readiness for the next hackle. As I say, I'm just doing this because it's giving me I want to make sure like I've got the 3, and it's just giving me an indication where I'm going to start my hackle. So same again, coming in with my hackle this time. This is red scarlet cock hackle, and again you can decide whatever you want. Like this is quite a short, quite sparse. So I'm going to come in, catch this in. Catch this in, and bring the thread back up to where I'm going to start my hackle. And bring the thread back down the front. Pull that forward, pull that. Holds it up out of the way, and then I'm going to come in and snip that excess. That's it done. And I'll come in with my hackle pliers. Like so. Again, because this is the shiny side, this is the side I'm going to pull. I'm going to bend. So to bend it, you can put a little, take the slack off the hackle pliers, and it allows you to start bending it. Now the center portion was 3 turns, but because this is the head and I want it to be a richer colour, and because of these hackle fibres, I'm going to try and get 4. It could even be 5. As I say, it all depends on how good the hackle is going to turn out. So there's 1. Again, every time you put the turn in, pull the fibres back. 2. Making sure you're doing touch and turns with it as well. Forgot to say that. 3. And then try and get the last one in. Take a bit of that fluff off. I don't want to be tying that in. 4. Come over. 2 turns over. Maintaining tension. 2 turns over the front. And you want to come in and snip that off. As I say, I just got that right there, because that was nearly too fluffy for me. And before you finish off, get rid of all that excess fibre, pull everything back, moisten your fingers. Start to put a couple of turns in then. As I say, when you back off onto the actual hackle, what it does is it helps shape it. Just good. And then pinching everything. Probably needs one more turn back. There we go. Pinching everything, then put a couple of, just tidy up a little, not too much, because you're going to be coming in with your jungle cock. Make sure that's fine. There we go. And then from the jungle cock, I've already prepped the eyes. Actually, I like using these wee things just to maintain them. So all I'll do is I'll come in, catch one in, catch one in the position I want it in, come in and catch the other one in. Just going to rotate the hook a bit. Bit fiddly doing these. Tighten down now, coming forward. And then when you get it, when you're happy with everything in the position, pull back on the stalks, and then put a turn at the front then. And then don't be getting too carried away and plucking these, because it can pull your jungle cock out of position, which I've made a mistake a couple of times doing. Now what we're going to do now is start to build up the head. Just taking your time with this. Just making sure you're covering everything. Because you're using the roll thread as well, like, again, it builds up a nice even head, and it will cover everything. Being gentle as well. I was pulling maybe a bit hard there. I don't want to, if I can, I don't want to damage my jungle cock eyes, because if you're pulling everything, you can split them. Like, it's not going to affect how the pattern fishes. There we go. Just make sure I've covered everything off. Yes, I have. And then I'm going to come in and do my whip finish. 4-turn whip finish, and I do it twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Give that a good pull. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Give that a good pull. Snap that off. Quick moisten of the fingers, just to tidy everything, shape everything. There we go. Happy with that. And to finish the head, I'm going to come in with one layer of super glue on the head, and then, as usual, I'll let that dry for a second, and I'll come in and put a coat of VENIARD's clear fine head cement on it. Again, you don't want this to completely dry, the super glue, because your head will go white, or maybe it's just my super glue is a bit old now. There we go. So we'll let that dry for a second, and then I'll quickly come in then, just a quick second, quickly come in with my VENIARD's fine head cement. So I finished the majority of my heads with this. I'll put one coat on now, put it on my drying stand, and I will build this head up. I will maybe put another 3-4 layers on. So what happens is the actual head, the silk you're using actually absorbs the varnish, so your head will dull. So you want your head, this is how shiny I like my heads, so you will need to put a couple of layers of varnish on it. So that's it finished, folks. That's my version of an Apache shrimp. As I say, one of my favourite Irish shrimp patterns. Again, very prolific pattern. A lot of people fish them. It's like thank you to Mr. Atkins who came up with the idea of it. I hope you like this this pattern, folks, and if you have a look at my channel, I've got trout flies on it. I've also got other salmon flies on it, so just have a look. There's going to be stuff there that you might like to try. Also, if you want to go over the materials again, just check out the description below. And then when I get out in the water, hopefully it's going to be in the next week or so, I'm going to be doing videos where I'm actually out fishing the patterns that I've tied on this channel, if it's trout or salmon, and I'll be using these. So I might even be using this on my first video, so it all depends. So if you like this video, folks, please subscribe, and as I say, I'm going to be posting nearly every week on my videos. So thanks again, folks, and I'll see you at the next fly.